Hello everyone. I've been to the Blink Festival in Sandnes twice. It is a satellite town of Stavanger. The first time I rented a car. The second time I used public transport. The festival includes competitions in biathlon and cross-country skiing that take place on roller skis. It begins in the village of Leisbaden, from where athletes go uphill to Kjørak Plateau, while in Norwegian it will be Kjørak. The finish line is near the start of the Kjørak walking route. I have already described these sites, and you can find the link in description. The most funny thing is that with and without a car, I managed not to get to the start of the race uphill. The first time, I decided to go by ferry, stood in a huge queue, and as a result didn't get. The second time, I got to the ferry with light baggage, but they wouldn't let me in because there were no return tickets. Of course, I could have left to chance, but I didn't dare. There's no public transport in the opposite direction, except for ferries. The recommendation is following. You either should buy ferry tickets in both directions in advance, or go by car from the south side of the Lucy Fjord. A distance is of about 100 kilometers. On the way, there are many outlets for knitting lovers, with a wide variety of both finished products and yarn at ridiculous prices. And the prices are ridiculous not only for Norway. There is also a huge handicraft store with various crafts, souvenirs, and so on. There is the top waterfall, Manafossen, approximately in the middle of this road. Then there is a skiing marathon, with a start in some village. The first time, the finish was in Sandnes, and the second time it was not. I was hoping to meet Peter Northwick, but it was not meant to be. Then there were sprints of skiers, but without Northwick and Klebo. I found them uninteresting. After that, biathletes took part in the sprint. First, men and women hold shooting competitions, and then the winners hold a super final. Both times I came, the winners were women. In 2018, Elvira Abak defeated Erlina Bientega. And for the second time, it was in 2022. Fion May, who is the owner of the Big Crystal Globe trophy, sensationally lost to an unknown Chinese woman Yin Wen, who had switched from skiing a few months before. Then there were sprints and mass starts for men and women. In 2018, Justin Brazza won the sprint. Marta Alsblo took the second place, and Mana Brarsson won the third. For men, the first was Velte Christiansen, the second was Johannes Boe, the third was Anton Gigana. Hanna Iberg won the women's mass starts. Anastasia Kuzmina was the second, and Mana Brarsson the third. Henrik Lebelan won for men in mass starts. Johannes Boe was the second. Velte Christensen came the third. Interestingly, Alexander Bolshanov won 60 kilometers mass start. In 2022, the sprint was won by Velte Christensen and Marketa Davidova. The mass starts were won by Velte Christensen and Lynn Persson. The cultural program for both children and adults is perfectly organized at the festivals. The stage was built in the port of Sandnes, where a concert and award ceremony took place. See the link to the video in the description. Besides the Blink, there is something else to do there. I recommend to stay somewhere in the suburbs in order to save money, paying attention to the public transport within reach. There is a following cool thing. A bus ticket from almost any suburbs of Sandnes and Stavanger costs 40 crowns, and a daily one costs 60 crowns. But there is an inconvenient thing for tourists. There are few ticket vending machines. Now the driver doesn't sell the ticket, and local residents use a mobile app. I caught a bus at the airport and wanted to pay the driver with a credit card as I used to do, but it turned out that it was impossible. The driver entered into my position and drove me for free. The tickets can be bought at the airport at the bus stations of Stavanger and Sandnes, and I found another vending machine near the Square shopping center, right at the bus stop near my hotel. From Stavanger to the airport you can also get a ticket, but only with change in Sandnes, so that you should not overpay for a coach. As for cultural program, I recommend going to the port and the surrounding area in the evening. There are various concerts and very stylish restaurants and traditional Norwegian houses. And in the afternoon, you can watch ocean liners. And in 2018, an exact replica of the 18th century Russian frigate moored there. And also, apparently, there was some kind of festival of such vessels because a rather famous sailing ship came. I believe it is even now the largest ship in the world. It is the Krasensturm. A lot of old Soviet films were shot on it. Also, there is a travel agency in the port with seaboat trips for every taste on different vessels as well as diving. I also found a boat trip for myself. See the link in the description.